Thanks for stopping by, subscribers and first-time viewers. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cabin that I saw on Pinterest. I whipped up some plans with estimated size and got a bunch of branches that I had saved and started cutting them to the size I needed using my miter box and miter saw. It really helped a lot to have this. With my X-Acto knife, I shaved off the knots on each individual log. After truing all the logs the best I could, I then began my foundation using air dry clay. I made a wood floor and stuck it in the bottom of my forms, and then I packed the air dry clay on top. Using my Pinterest example, I then took each log and glued it to boards to create a wall for each side of the cabin. I realized that my walls were too wide for the foundation, so I had to go through and trim off all the excess width on each log. The test fit of all the walls showed that I had now measured right and everything looked great. Using the air dry clay as chinking, I filled in all the gaps between the logs. I decided to do the chinking only on the inside of the logs because I like the way it looks on the outside without it. With the walls assembled, now is the time to create the roof. This is where I made my own tin roof using aluminum foil, lightweight cardstock, and extra strong formula Elmer's glue. Once I taped down the baking paper, I then laid the lightweight cardstock and covered that with the Elmer's glue all, and then laid the foil out on it. Be sure to have your foil longer than the cardstock, because when you start dragging your impression maker through the glue, it forces the glue out the end and you'll end up with your implement all covered with glue. I've seen various methods of making an impression in the foil. Luke Towan, who has a really excellent channel, you ought to check it out, he used a spring, but I'm using my Kent beard comb. Sometimes when I'm making my tin roof, I don't get a perfect full sheet of usable tin roof, so that's really okay because I'm going to cut it up anyway, so I just cut out the parts that I want and discard the rest. But it's really whatever you want to try to make your impressions. Like I said, Luke Towan rolled a spring across it, and he probably got more even impressions, but I don't have a spring, but I do have a beard comb. So I start out here pulling the comb across the aluminum foil, and all the foil starts to move at once. So I have to use only one hand to do this, and in doing so I don't get as even impressions as I would like. But like I said, I'll just cut out what I want to use and discard what I don't. But this method has worked pretty good for me. I've made a bunch of sheets successfully. Once the glue dries, the tin roof peels easily off the baking paper. I then cut up my tin roof into various shapes and sizes to have enough pieces to fill up my whole roof. Using my Elmer's glue, I then glue each piece to the roof, overlapping top to bottom, left to right. I really like the results of my tin roof. I think it came out pretty good. Every cabin needs an outhouse, so that's just what I did. I made an outhouse in 1/64 scale to go with my cabin. I made a hinged door for my outhouse so that it can be opened and closed easily. Through the window you can see Sarah at the wood-burning stove, the top bunk of the bunk beds, and Steve standing in front of the table by the front door. So I had fun weathering the tin roof. I used Tamiya weathering master powders, and I weathered the roof in rust, and I sooted up the stovepipe and rusted the roof and the door on the outhouse. I enjoyed making the outhouse so that my 1/64 scale people will now have some place to go when nature calls. Using Anita's Fragile Crackle glaze, I achieved a mosaic effect on the concrete steps and foundation. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my creations and will like and subscribe and share. Take care. Be well.